Yeah, it puts too much glare right there. Hey everybody, Marshall, Budget Guy RC. We're gonna try doing this Tuesday night RC talk. I'm gonna be starting this up just a little something. It's gonna be basically where I come on here, and it's welcome to anybody who wants to join. Y'all can talk about anything concerning RC, like comps that you've been to, things that are happening in your area. You know, anything you want to talk about. It's just gonna be an open floor. It ain't gonna be nothing specific. You know, it's just something I thought about, and I was like, well, I'm off on Tuesdays. Why not do a Tuesday RC talk? You know, I know the last couple of videos I put out have been me on the same pile of rocks, but so far, to tell you all the truth, that's the only rocks I've found in my area where I'm living now. You know, to go run on. What's up, brother? You doing all right? Thanks for joining in, man. Good to hear from you. Yeah, man. Still looking for some new areas to run. Like I said, I just found that rock pile. I've run that a few times now. I want to find me a good place in the woods other than right across the street from my house where I do some of my videos at. I want to find me another place in the woods that's maybe got some rocks and maybe a creek or something. I would love to find something like that. That way I can do a little bit of a creek run mixed in with climbing a few rocks, plus climbing over some roots and stuff. I want to have a little bit of everything in a video, but so far, being in this new town, I haven't been able to find anything yet. I mean, I did that one video y'all saw where I went down to Santee State Park, the one where I ran into the alligator. Was not expecting that, but learn something. You see something new every day, you learn something new every day. I knew my best thing to do that day was just back up and go back the way I came. We wasn't going to see if he just wanted to go off into the water or if he wanted to come out to me. We wasn't waiting around to find out. But that whole trail that I did that day, there was, as far as I can remember, there was not one rock to climb over on that trail. I want to go back up there in the future and see if there's any more trails that I might can go down that might have some rocks mixed into the trail. If not, then I got to look and see where else I might can find to go. But I've heard of a couple of other places like parks and stuff. I got to try to get out to one of them. There's one I'm looking at that's probably half hour away from here. I got to get down there and see what they got. See if they allow the RC, because you don't want to take something down there as soon as you pull it out of your car, get kicked out because they don't allow it on their type trail. Maybe it's just a walking or jogging trail, and they don't want you down there getting in people's way. So it's best if you ask first, because I hate to drive a half hour, get down there, pull the car out and the camera out, and as soon as I set it down on the trail, somebody comes up to me telling me I can't have that, I can't be down there. They don't want no filming down there or something. I don't know. I want to check into to find out some things about this one place I looked at. There's one place, I want to say about 35, 40 minutes away. I want to look into that one. And then there's another place that's got a walking trail, but I don't know what kind of terrain it's got on it. That's probably about a half hour away as well, maybe a little bit longer. And I joined an RC group on Facebook. It's for the Carolinas, to see if I could talk to any of those guys, see if anybody there was posting places that they ran that might be near where I live. Then I joined an online, I joined that, what is it, rccrawler.com forum. I joined that and put out a post on there, well, what they call a thread. I put a thread up on their site saying, hey, I'm new to this town. Does anybody know anywhere nearby that I could do some trailing / crawling? I've only had one response to it so far. This is a guy, I think he said he lives in Columbia. He just bought a piece of property right beside his house. He bought the lot next door to him. And he plans on turning that into a course. But, you know, that's the only thing else I've found. So I'm still in the process of looking for better spots. Like I said, haven't even been here a year yet. So it may take me, you know, another 6 months before I find anything else better. No, Lake Marion area. No, I'm up in the Lake Marion area, up towards Florence, Sumter. As far as I know, I'm nowhere near the Smokies. I'm further down, closer towards the beach. Good to have you here, RC Dabbler. Hope you're doing well tonight. Yeah, this is just something I just started on a whim. See if I can get some people to join in. They can, like I said, they can talk about whatever they're working on in their RC garage, whatever they're running, what new rig they're fixing to get. Hey, Bull Guy RC. Hope you're doing good tonight. Good to have you here. Like I said, it's just an open talk. Anything you got going on? Yeah, it's not as mountainous where I'm at now. Where we moved from, I was only 30 minutes from a place called Paris Mountain. So, yeah, I moved more away from the mountains. I'm more down towards the beach now. But good to have y'all guys here. Like I said, anybody got anything they want to talk about? What y'all might have in y'all's garage y'all working on right now as far as RC wise? You're welcome to bring it up. Everybody's talking about ARMA and all the stuff they're doing lately, which is a lot. I actually would like to see them take a stab at the trail truck game. I mean, they're one of the few that hasn't jumped that way yet. I mean, come on, you had Vertera, you had ECX, you had Axial, then Traxxas jumped into it. You know. Oh, Nick, got your first RC last week? Congrats. Bull Guy, I have so many projects, I don't know what one to work on next. True. You're like, okay, do I want to work? But what about, but that one, yeah, maybe. Yeah, and then you just sit there and you go, oh, never mind, I'm going to do this instead. And then you go, next week I'm going to definitely get on. and then you pick something else. Yeah, a lot of times planning ahead just doesn't work out, you know. You just kind of have to, a lot of times I'll just walk over to the closet, open the closet door and go, okay, this one. and just grab something out, either start tinkering on it or charging up a battery or two and say, okay, if it doesn't pour down or it's not ice on the ground, this is the one I'm going to run today, and try to get it out there and do something with it. Go ahead and charge up a couple of different cameras. And if all's willing, that's what you head out with. But yeah, I'll get different ones up on the bench or up on my desk. And I'll be like, okay, which one am I going to play with tonight and try to get ready to go? And lately, like I said, it had been the Red Cat has been out recently. Plus my Race had been out. And that WL Toys, which is a Polaris Razor clone. Those are the last three I took out. And the Red Cat, it hasn't uploaded yet. That'll be coming in a few days. I have since modded the tires. And I got a video coming out of it with the tires modded, showing a little run I did with it after I modded the tires on it. Other than the tires being modded, it's basically a stock Everest 10. But I still, like I said, I got to find me one of those spots where you go down there and you go, wow, I can do a lot down here. It'll be good for trailing, crawling, a little bit of everything. But I haven't really got to that. Mine is just light trailing in the woods across the street from where I live. And that one spot I went to at Santee State Park where I ran into that alligator. But if he'd have come at the RC truck, I believe he would have just had him an RC truck. If I couldn't get it away from him fast by driving it, I would have just left it. I found a cool forestry road, rocky gravel just a mile away and I'm thinking of pulling out my old Race 2.2 out of storage and fix up rear diffs strip. Hey, ain't nothing like an old Race. I love seeing a Race climb. They just look like a beast. I love seeing the Race. When I put mine on the rocks the other week, it was probably the happiest I'd been since I got that thing. Because all my videos had been of it trailing on more like a trail truck trail. I didn't get to really do anything with a bunch of gravel and bigger rocks. And then I finally found a spot near some railroad tracks. And I just had a blast with that thing out there. And I'm like, okay, shows what it really can do, But, yeah, I'd love to see you put that Race back out there. You get that rear diff fixed up. Got to put your video up so I can come check it out. Because, man, I love the Race. Hold on a second. I'll grab mine. It ain't the prettiest in the world, but I still love it. Ain't the best in the world, but I love my Race. There you go. The tires are sturdy from the last run. It is definitely a monster. That's for sure. Thanks, RC Dabbler. Yep. That was one of my dream RCs when I first got in the hobby. That was one of my dream RCs to own. I had like 3 dream RCs when I started my YouTube channel. One was a CC01. Anybody but a CC01 by Tamiya or Tamiya, whichever way you want to say it. Second, the Axial Race. And third was a Traxxas E-Revo. Could have been the 1/16, but I really wanted the 1/10 one. But Budget Guy RC, being on that budget, I just never could collect that kind of money to pull the trigger on the E-Revo. So I just ended up getting me a Traxxas Stampede, the Scully edition, the green one. I just, went with a 2-wheel drive Traxxas Stampede Scully edition. Hey, it's still a blast. I mean, I know it's not an E-Revo, but still a blast of a truck. So that made my third, basically, So I came close to getting all three. I think I need to focus on finishing Ugly Bubba. Yeah. With a name like that, yeah, you definitely need to finish that and let everybody see it. Give us a good run of it so we can all check it out. Ugly Bubba. I just like the name of that one. Definitely want to see that. I brought my Telluride on that road, but it would constantly get thrown off course because of the tub chassis. Yeah. It's like recently, the Polaris one. I'm playing up on the rocks and everything, and I did this little rock hill and everything, and then I get up on top of the rocks, and every time it would hit a big rock, you could just see the front wheels just die, and it just hung there, and the back wheels trying to push it over because the front diff wasn't locked. It's kind of like your Terra twin hammers, got the open front diff, locked rear, so it's more of like a just a rock bouncer, rock racer, a little bit of speed behind it. Yeah, I like your Scully videos. I've got one of those too. Yeah, they're just a cool truck. I mean, yeah, I could have just bought a regular Traxxas Stampede 2-wheel drive, but there was just something about the Scully, the Craniac, just something about them. I've always been interested in the Monster Jam style trucks, and when I saw the green and black Scully, because of the colors being kind of like Bigfoot, kind of like Gravedigger, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a Scully. It's not a Gravedigger, but it's still cool looking. Yeah, I've enjoyed running that thing. But yeah, different things. Peak the entrance, you run that a couple times, and then you go, okay, let me need to go to something else. Let me find something else. Like I said, I took that hill, that rock pile I've been on. Traxxas Monster Jam, Son of a Gravedigger. Oh, yeah. Son of a Gravedigger. That is a sweet looking rig, too. And that was your first 1/10 scale truck? My first hobby grade RC was orange and black ECX Torment 2-wheel drive. That was my first hobby grade RC. 2-wheel drive ECX Torment, which I started my channel with. And I still have it to this day. Took me 3.5 to 4 years before I finally broke it. And I stripped spur gear. I got a new spur gear. I just got to get around to changing it out. Wishing I Was Fishing says, what would you suggest as the best first quad? Depends on whether you want it just a small one inside your house that you can try to fly around in the living room, or whether you want something that you can actually fly outside. And with me knowing where you live, I wouldn't fly it in your yard. If it was me, if I was going to get an outside one, I would go down to the lake down there where you live. Oh, you want one for in the house? There's a couple of them. Hold on. I got one that everybody raves about. Let me see if I can find it. All right, Nick. I'm back. This is one people rave about. You can get it in a gray, or you can get it in a blue and gray. It is the JJRC H36. And as you can see, the props are surrounded all the way around. So even if you smack into a wall, you're not going to break them props. These little things fly pretty good. Give you at least about a 5-minute flight time in your house, if at least, you know. And they're pretty cheap. So JJRC H36. This is one my girlfriend had actually bought me one year, like for my birthday or Christmas one time. Now, here is another one. They have it goes by different names. This is the H7. There you go. H7 it was called what is it? Gentrude. Gintrude. Gentrude. And this little thing's really small. As you can see the picture down here. It's really small. But this thing will move. But if it was me, for you, first one in the house, I would go with that JJRC H36 with the protection that it has on them props and everything. They're pretty cool. And I mean, you're not going to spend $20 for something like this and still get to have a little bit of fun with it. So if it was me, that would be the one I would pick if I was you, man. So wishing I was fishing, that's the one I would suggest as the first one for in the house. That one right there. Appreciate you asking that. Now, if you wanted something, wishing I was fishing, if you wanted something dainty for in the house, it's called the Sky Viper Nano Drone. As you can see, it's a little bitty tiny drone right there in that box. It comes with the radio, you know, the controller, the little quad here and everything. It's got, you know, the information on the back. You can actually pick this up at a Walmart. That's why I'm mentioning it to you. Because I actually bought this at the Walmart right down below where we live when I was living there beside you. So Sky Viper Nano Drone. You could probably pick this up for about $20 at the Walmart where you live. But I like the other one better that I showed you. The JJRC that I showed you earlier. I like that one better. I do. But, you know, everybody's different. You're welcome, brother. I hope you like whatever you get. Let me know whatever you do decide to get, you know. Let me know what you got and what you thought about it. Like I said, that JJRC one I showed you, with the way it's made, I don't think you'll have a problem flying that thing around in the house. That way, if you do smack a wall or smack into a TV or something like that, it's not really going to hurt nothing. Yeah. It'll just fall through the floor. You pick it back up and take off again or whatever. Go on about your business. Flip it back over. Fly it again. Anyway, Bull Gear. Sorry about that. Said it wrong. Bull Gear RC. I would definitely be interested in seeing you get that ugly Bubba finished. I would love to see that. Well, that just sounds like a cool project you were working on. An RC Dabbler, I definitely want to see you go ahead and get that rear diff taken care of in your race. Because I love watching a race in a running video. I just love seeing them. Because a lot of people have done quit running them now because, you know, they're so big. You know. A lot of people's gone to the smaller 10th scale or either even gone to the 12th scale like I've got a couple of, because I got that ECX Doomsday Barrage, which is technically a 12th scale. And then I've got that Thunder Tiger, the little Toyota Helix, 1/12th scale pickup truck, But then I've got a few 10th scale as well. And realistically, you could say the Tamiya CC01s are more of a 12th scale than a 10th. Because you put a 10th scale RC up beside the Tamiya, and it looks bigger. But yeah, this was just something. Yeah. It's like, how many times do you see a race in a comp? Because the gates are so narrow, as big as the old race is, it's kind of hard to take a race and go do a competition. Unless you're just doing some more of a tough truck type competition where the gates are way wider, because everybody's got a little bit of everything out there. More of a run what you brung type competition. I looked at one the other day, and it was a tough truck competition. And there was a guy out there with a 6-wheeler. And that was actually the first time I had actually seen a 6-wheel drive RC in any competition. Because I sit there and think about mine, and I'm like, oh my God, how would you turn and get that thing through a gate with just the front wheel steer, unless you put some extra steering on it. Because mine's got a horrible turning radius. Don't get me wrong, I like my 6-wheel drive truck, but it's just, mine's got a horrible steering radius on it, turning radius. I love driving it, but it's not like I would take it to a comp because I don't think it would be competitive enough in anything where I had small gates. Now, if you got it out there where you just got wide open gates and it's just going through it to try to see if it can make it, that'd be about the only thing I could put it in. But to me, it's just all about I want to get out there and have some fun. Hey, Rich. Welcome through the chat. Got anything you working on specifically? And before anybody asks, Red Solo Cup, no alcohol. Just happens to be cold coffee. Cleaning up my Capra. Hey, I heard that's a pretty bad machine. I've heard a lot of people bragging on that new axial Capra kit. But everybody was a little bummed that the axles aren't quite the size that you need for the UMG 10. It is amazing. Yeah, I heard a lot of people say right combos, it is just sweet. Ever watch RC Athletes? He's up in Canada, and most of the guys he goes wheeling with run 2.2 rigs, like race or axial bombers. No, I've never watched that. I'll have to type that in tonight. RC Athletes. Thanks, man. I'll type that in. Like I said, I love watching race. And I'd love to see something with a bunch of race. And the bombers, yeah. But it seems like with that Capra coming, that might push the bomber basically into, non-existence. I'm not sure if it will, but because you got hardcore fans of different, products. Like me, I always wanted a race. I finally was able to trade an RC that I already owned to get the race. Hey, Steve. Good to see you, my man. Yeah, this is my first time doing this. I decided to do a live Tuesday RC talk. It's going to be something I'm trying out just to see how it goes. It's going to be one of these open floors. You come in here, you can talk about anything concerning RC. You know, what you got on the bench, what you about to run next, what you fixing to repair, maybe what you fixing to buy. Anything you want to talk about, man. What you got your fishing shirt on? Yeah, my girlfriend bought it for me. I fish to burn off the crazy. I tell everybody I fish to keep me from going crazy. So she saw this shirt and said it was me all over. And then my hat, you can kiss my bass. She bought me the hat too. I've got one in the bathroom. It says, "Shut up and fish." So yeah, love the fishing. Used to be it was all night catfishing. That was my gig. You go out there about 11, 12 o'clock at night, all the way up till 7 o'clock in the morning. Just trying to see how many cats I could pull in. And then stay until daylight, switch over and throw out a couple bass plugs as soon as daybreak came, as soon as dawn came. Fish for about an hour for bass, load everything up, and then go home. I went the other day, water was only 45 degrees, got nothing. Yeah. I want to go at least a couple more times before it gets any colder, but tonight we're supposed to get down to, I think it's 25 degrees. But the only thing I see running now would be going to a place where stripers are at. Because the stripers hit real good when it's cold. Yeah, I know you've been slaying. Wishing I was fishing 73. I know you've been slaying them bass and crappie. Especially them crappie. I saw them slabs. We love some fried catfish. RC Dabbler grew up in Kentucky, so you remember the taste? Oh, yeah. All them catfish. Oh. And to me, 3-pound catfish is one of the best tasting cats. The 3-pounder and smaller. Just the flavor of it. And a pound crappie. Oh, my Lord, melt in your mouth. But I love some striped bass if it's filleted and broiled. You started slaying some pickerels now? Cool, Steve. Like I said, this is going to be, yes, it's supposed to be RC talk, but hey, I don't really care. I'm on here. We brought up the fishing shirt. We talk about fishing. That's fine, too. It's just going to be a talk. This is me trying to get people together so they can talk about whatever. Cold water, they like it. I've never fished for pickerel, so I didn't know a lot about it. I didn't even know much about them until I watched a couple of your shows, your videos where you fish for them. So they're one of the ones that like colder water. Well, that's one of the ones like striper, the striper bass. Me and a buddy of mine, this is back when I fished for striper bass. Me and a buddy of mine, we used to go to the dam and we'd fish for striper a lot. Go down there and fish for striper. When they wasn't running, if we had any bait left over, we'd go down a little piece and we'd throw out and try to fish for some large crappie and stuff like that. But, yeah, we love fishing. Throw out right at the dam. Just throw out up at the dam, let it drift down, let one snag onto it, and then reel him back into you. Oh, yeah, good fight. Used to love doing that, and I tore this shoulder out. Had to have a shoulder surgery. Took me a year to recover from. And ever since then, it's just gave me trouble. So I ended up selling off all my striper stuff to one of my buddies. And now I just fish for, bass, cat, brim, crappie, stuff like that. I can't quite handle throwing out that big 10-foot rod anymore, trying to go for the striper. Yeah, Steve, I saw one of your videos. I didn't comment on it. Sorry about that. But I did see one of your videos where you put out that inflatable out there. How you liking that inflatable boat you got? Yeah, the big fish put a beating on you for sure. Yeah. So you loving that? What is it? Seymour or Sevlar? I think it's a Sevlar, right? Something like that. I know I'm not saying it exactly right, but it's something like that, ain't it? And I know it's an inflatable, like a two-man style type boat. It's the Seahawk too. Yeah, I heard those were pretty good. Mine came down to, and I'm gonna be honest with you, mine came down with a little bit of laziness. I saw that thing and I was like, I can get one of those for a couple hundred or cheaper. And but do I want to go out there and every time I pull up to the lake, have to blow the thing up? I'm sitting there going, I've got chronic bronchitis. I'm like, I really don't feel like blowing it up, so I'd have to buy a pump and pump it up. And do I want to do that every time when I get there and then let it back down? I'm like, I think I'll just get me a cheap kayak and do with that instead. And that's why I bought that neon green kayak. It's because I knew I could put that on the water and everybody would see me. Yeah, I got it because I have no way of bringing a big boat. Well, see, that's the plus of me having the pickup truck. I can throw it up in the back of it. Plus, I do have that station wagon. I can just put it across the top. Got a roof rack type thing up there, and I can just put it up there and strap it down if need be. So I can haul it either way with that 10-foot kayak I've got. Now, I don't know if you've seen it or not. I really wanted one, but I didn't really want to do the inflating. I wanted me one of those inflatable, they call it a one-man pontoon. I got a battery-powered air pump. Got everything ready in the water 10 minutes. Hey, yeah, you got to get something like that. You've either got to get one that you can plug into your cigarette lighter that'll pump it up quick, or you got to get a battery operated, because that's standing there with a hand pump like this or the foot pump. No. You do it a couple times and you'd be like, no, I'm just going to stand there and fish off the bank. You'd probably get bored with it. But have you seen the inflatable actual one-man pontoon? Yeah, my shoulder will blow out for sure. Sitting there trying to do this just constantly. That's why when you see me out with the kayak, I'll paddle a little bit with the kayak, stop, throw out a few times, hit a little bit, then I'll pull the rod back in, and then I'll paddle a little bit more. Yeah, they do look cool, though, don't they? I mean, I love the fact, you got on each side of you like this, and then your seat's like here, and then you got the part on the back for toting stuff, and then you got a little netting up front where you can lay the fish when you bring him in, and then the place to put your legs out. But me, I would want to customize it and lay something else across there, so that way if I wanted to bring my legs in a little further, and just lay them on on a board that I had laying across the leg spots. Like maybe put me a lightweight half-inch piece of plywood and just lay it across there while I'm out on the water, so I can lay my legs up there or cross them, be a little more comfortable, instead of having to lay them, have your feet up on those rests to hold your legs up, out of the water. But yeah, they do look cool. And they're not outrageous. They're like $400 and under. When people say you can inflate them and have them on the water, I think it's 10 to 15 minutes or less. But yeah, I looked at one of those before I settled on the kayak. The reason I went with the kayak, simple. I may get a kayak if I can mount it on the bug I have. Only thing I like about the boat, it's stable, and kayaks so easy. Yeah, well, me, that's the reason I picked the one I picked, because the kayak I've got, they say they're more stable than some others. But yeah, you have to look, and you have to look at them on YouTube and see what people are saying about them. I watched a video where a guy was comparing cheap and expensive ones, and he was sitting out there doing this in the kayak to show you what it took to make it flip. And now mine, that seat I had put on it that raised me up a little bit, that makes it a little more tipsy now. Because when I sat on it with that seat on there, I knew when I leaned over like this to reel in, yeah, it's a lifetime. It's one of the ones they sell at Walmart. I think mine was like $199, $198. It's a 10-footer, yeah. But they've got another one. It's actually called, if you don't want much room and you want something a little smaller, they got I think it's an 8.5 foot one called the Lifetime Daylight. It's LITE is how they spell light. Yeah, like I said, my 10-foot one, I liked it because of the lightness. I could actually load it myself because I brought it home on top of my little bitty Subaru wagon. I slid it up top, tied a rope in 3 or 4 places, and drove it home on the Subaru wagon. But since I've added that seat and that crate up there, I'd have to take all that off before I could put it back on the Subaru. So instead, I just haul it in my pickup truck right now. But down the road, I want to get me a good cushion just for the rear end to put down in it. And then I'm probably going to take that seat that I added off of it. So that way I'd be able to haul it on the Subaru wagon or in the pickup truck. And I may take the crate off when I add me a couple of rod holders or something like that down the road. I'm just, in the thinking process of it right now. But yeah, I'd never been in a kayak until I bought that one. And like I said, I bought the neon green for one purpose: to be seen on the water. Because there's nothing worse than getting a blue kayak or something near the color of water and a boat barreling down at you because he don't even see you. I'm out there with a life vest on in a bright neon green kayak. Shouldn't be too hard to see me, and I'm not out there in the dark, so that's why I went that way. But they do have a one called it's a Lifetime Daylight. I'm scared flipping in that pond with all those weeds. Yeah. They say the biggest issue is learning how to get in and out of them. And one of my buddies on here that was on here earlier, wishing I was fishing 73, he's the one who told me, you just got to be careful, go slow with it, and test yourself at the edge of the bank. Put it in, get used to it right there at the edge of the bank. That way, if you do anything, all you got to do is stand up. You ain't got no problem. You might get wet, but you ain't got no problem. And that's what I did the first time I took it out. In the beginning, I sat down on it right there in the very shallow, slowly turned myself and got myself into it, seeing what I could do. And then I kind of leaned left and right a little bit to see when it started to seem like it was going to go over one way or the other. And I was like, okay, I got this. And then I started going out in it. But yeah. But I wear the life vest just in case. I find it's harder to get out of the boat, and I almost fall sometimes. Yeah, now during the summer, during the spring, summer, a kayak can be your best friend because you ease up to the shallow and you can just turn and put your feet out into the water, and then you just stand up. Your feet get a little wet and your ankles. Then you just walk up out of the water and pull the boat up towards the edge of the bank. I have fished out of a kayak for the last 2. Yep. Well, me being around you is what made me decide to try a kayak. So you can kind of thank yourself for being around me. When we moved here and I left the paddle boat with you, I decided I was going to get something that I could actually put into my truck on my own. And that paddle boat, I just couldn't lift that into pickup truck by myself. A 5-man paddle boat, I just couldn't do it. They do have Kayak Stabilizer. Yep. Steve, as handy as you are at creating stuff, you could do one of the do-it-yourself ones that use one of those do-it-yourself videos and make you some stabilizers to put on one of those kayaks and make it just as stable as like a pontoon. I've seen guys do it. I've seen guys use 2-liter Coke bottles. They put one here, and they bring them up. They fill them up with that foam stuff like you fill in cracks with. And then they mount them to a piece of pipe. And then they put them on each side. A piece of PVC running off each side of the kayak. And 2 soda bottles filled with that foam. They're more stable than you think. Yeah, some of them are really stable. Now, I've seen some where it looks like if you barely do this, they're ready to go over. But some of them, you can just sit there and go, and they don't flip. You guys talking about boats and kayaks has got me thinking about getting a small raft or something. Perhaps a secondary hobby. Hey, it doesn't have to be just RC. We all got hobbies we love, and fishing was my first. But yeah, I love the RC. I love boats. So, yeah. We'd love to hear about anything you want to get, like a boat-wise. Talking to Steve up there. He's got one of them inflatable boats. Yeah, his is he's got a fishing channel. Fishing with PH for pickerel hunter. He got him an inflatable boat. The only thing that worries him is flipping in the weeds and getting himself hung up in them. Yeah. Which I understand, but he's got a beautiful spot. Oh, man. The spot he fishes at. And wishing I was fishing 73. I'm a big guy, 280. No problem with a kayak. Oh, yeah. If you get one that's rated for the right amount of weight, it does you a lot better. That's the reason I didn't go for one of those other kayaks. That's why I went with even the cheap Lifetime. The one I picked. Said it can handle, I think it was either 275 or 300 or something like that. And I was like, well, I got no problem with that then, because I knew I wasn't going to carry that much gear. I'm probably 210. And I knew my gear I was carrying might be 30, 40 pounds, if that. So I'm like, 275 pounds or more is what it'll hold. I'm like, I know I'm good. But I bought me a new anchor, an anchor rope I'm going to be swapping out to, because the anchor system that I had was just a 10-pound dumbbell tied onto a long 20, 25-foot rope to throw in the water. I'm only like 160. Yeah. That thing should be real good for you. Especially if you don't add a seat to raise you up. Just put you a cushion down in the bottom of it. Some kind of cushion, foam cushion or something. I've never owned any boats because I lived in apartments most of my life. Yeah. Hey, wishing I was fishing 73. Said he's going to go check you out, Steve, on your Pickerel Hunter channel, your PH channel. RC Dabbler, yeah. Up until, I don't know, about 10 years ago, I'd really never owned a boat. Then I traded a car for a boat that I never got in the water because he gave me the wrong paperwork to it. And then I ended up buying a 5-man paddle boat, but it was impossible for one person to load in the back of the truck by themselves. So I ended up giving that away to wishing I was fishing 73 when we got ready to move here. And that's when I bought the kayak. Did you see my boat's anchor system? No, I haven't seen that yet, Steve. I'll have to take a look at that. But I bought me, it's like a 1 half, 2 pound, 3 pounds, something like that. One of those claw anchors. And it's got like 20, 25 foot of rope with it. And then I bought me a cleat. And I'm going to drill a couple holes. And I'm going to put that cleat over here on the side of the kayak, probably on the right side. And then I'm going to tie that rope, tie it onto the boat. Well, I'm going to come up and hook it with a carabiner behind my seat. And then I'm going to throw the anchor out, and I'm going to wrap it around that cleat to the depth that I want it. Yeah, a lot of people say they love them retractable dog leashes. I have a unique anchor system on my kayak. What you got, wishing I was fishing 73? What you got on yours? But yeah, I bought me some of that eye bolts front and back, 2 anchors so I can hold me. Yeah. I went fishing with somebody one time. We were fishing for catfish, and all they had was an anchor at the front of the boat. And the whole night the wind was blowing, and it was just swaying us back and forth like this. And every time we try to get our line tight for catfishing, the boat would go back and forth, and the line would go loose and tight, loose and tight. And it was horrible that time. So yeah, I understand why you got front and back. Dinner time here. Have a good night, guys. Good chatting, buddy guy. Hey, RC Dabbler. It was definitely good to have you here, man. I plan on doing this like every Tuesday, if no bad luck. So you can pop on anytime. And as you can see, we're not just going to talk RC. If anybody's got anything they want to talk about, hey, we can just talk life. Anyway, man, you have a great night. Enjoy your dinner. Hope we hear from you again soon. Here's my marine sealant. There you go. Marine silicone sealant. I bought when I drill the holes for the cleat. I'm going to put a little bit of this on each hole, then put the screws in. And like I said, I'm going to have the carabiner, and I'm going to hook it right behind my seat. Then I'm going to throw the anchor out, and then I'm going to wrap it around the cleat at the depth I want it. I use a retractable dog leash and a small plastic jug like the shape of an antifreeze bottle, but smaller, filled with sand. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say they were getting, they just buy one of those, it was like a bag system. It comes up like this, and they put a little bit of sand in it, and then they cinch it up and just drop it over the side. And that's what they do. All right, RC Dabbler. Have a good night, man. Enjoy your food. Hope you join us again, my man. Yeah, I got I've got this new waterproof case that I'm going to be adding to the kayak, because my phone, with the case it's in that's protecting it, won't quite fit in the waterproof one that I had bought just for it. So now I had to have something a little bigger, so I picked this one up. This is the anchor cleat type thing I'm going to be using. And here's a 20-foot rope with the claw anchor, and it's already got a carabiner on there. Like I said, right behind the seat, I got a little loop right there where I can hook onto. I'm going to hook it there, chunk it out in the water. As soon as it hits the bottom, then I'm going to wrap it around that cleat to keep it where I want it. And then I picked these up. I picked this up. Universal rod holder. I'm gonna mount this. I'm a lefty, so I'm gonna mount that to the left side. I'm gonna mount that to the left side of the kayak. I'm gonna put that on the left, and I'm gonna put this anchor system off the right side. Well, Steve, I'm not, but basically average strength, and I can grab it and put it up on top of a wagon. I mean, it takes a little bit of effort to put it on a wagon. It is a lot better if you've got a pickup truck of some sort. It's a lot easier, but I tell you, if somebody had a van the right size, it'd be the perfect thing for a van, because a van sits a little lower to the ground. Wouldn't be nothing to load it up into a van. But all right, look at what Wishing I Was Fishing 73 said. His is only 47 pounds. His has got more stuff. His is better equipped than mine. His is an actual fishing kayak. His is only 47 pounds. I think mine is, I want to say 50, 53. But still, it depends on what you put on it that you're going to have on there while you're moving it. See, me, I made mine a little heavier by having the anchor already on it, that milk crate up there with the rod holders, that extra seat I added to it. Plus, I put all my fishing tackle. Rod and reels are already down in it, and I'm dragging it up onto the boat with all that stuff. No, I'm not quite wanting to go that far. I actually looked at a couple of John boats, 10-foot ones. I didn't want nothing no bigger than that. I looked at a couple 10-foot John boats, because I could actually get a rope, drag that up to the back of the truck, get back there, push it from behind, get it started on the truck, and then push it up in there, but, or try to get a trailer for it. But yeah, 47 to 55 pounds ain't that bad. His is 47, and I want to say mine's 53. I could be wrong on that, but they're rated pretty good. There was a guy who sells like $500, $800, and stuff like that kayaks in his shop, and he did a test on the top 5 cheap kayaks, and Lifetime was in that top 5. So that was one of the reasons I went with the Lifetime, plus that neon green. I just wanted to be seen. But yeah, Wishing I Was Fishing 73, he's got a nice one. And the one he's got, it depends on what time of the year you find it at. It's a good price or not. Yeah. Now, Steve, throwing this one at you. Just take a look at the Lifetime Daylight. It's Daylite. It's like an 8.5 foot one. I think it's only like 45 pounds. But like I said, it's only 8.5 foot. And it's got pretty good reviews on it. And it's only like 150. I want to say 150, 160. Oh yeah. Look, check it out on YouTube tonight. Daylight. Lifetime Daylight. Daylite. And you can get them for about $160 at Walmart. Somewhere along there. 150, 160, I think it is. No problem, Steve. Okay, I'm Chris McCall. You like real cars? Yeah. Especially old muscle cars. And Steve will jump in on that one. Oh, Shin RC will tell you, yeah. We like real cars. What are we talking here? Chris, since you brought it up. Yeah. Steve, I've seen your 81 Z28 Camaro. A 74 Triumph Spitfire. Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter whether it's muscle or not when it's old. Let's rephrase that. Doesn't matter if it's muscle or not, if it's old. Old is just cool. I don't care. I had an 1974 Opel Manta, 4-speed. Looked like a BMW in the front with 4-round headlights and kind of like a mini Jag in the back with 4-round taillights. Loved it. 77 Camaro and a 68 Firebird. Oh, yep. They don't make them like that no more. I had a 1980 Camaro. Looks just like your 81 Z28, Steve, but I had an 80 Camaro. The only thing was it didn't have the front air dam on the hood and the front spoiler underneath. Oh, that's your whole collection? Cool. And I had a little newer. I had a 95 Camaro with T-tops. But one of my favorites was my 65 Chevy Impala. Had a 327 with a 2-speed power glide. Oof, oof, oof. Love that old car. Trying to restore the Spitfire right now. Oh, well, anytime you're working on an old car, that cash does a lot of the what you can restore and when you can restore. When I was working on the 65 Chevy Impala, a buddy of mine worked at a mill and he lived next door to me. And he was like, man, I know you can't afford carpet right now, but we got this bad to the bone cloth. I can get you some to put down this carpet temporarily until you can find some better. Yeah, they can be money pits. They're like having a hog in the backyard. The pig that eats everything. Yeah, being in college, yeah, that can definitely make it a big struggle. But being married and having kids can definitely make it a big struggle too. I was trying to do a little something with when I was married. And I had 2 kids at the time. I couldn't hardly afford to keep it in the road. And when the transmission gave out on it at the end, I was just like, somebody wanted to buy it. And I was like, okay. And I think that's when I stepped into driving Toyotas because as a family person, they would just, laughed at me. No more toys for you. Oh, man, my dream would be a 1967 Ford Mustang. That would be my dream. Or let me change that. Anything 1967. I've seen some beautiful pickup trucks from 1967 I would love to own. And some beautiful cars from 67. Anything 1967 I would just love to own. Any car, any truck. But yeah, I've seen some beautiful pickup trucks and some beautiful cars, 67. But a 70 Pontiac GTO, oh my God. The first time I ever saw one, it was just like I was drooling when I saw it. My dream, a 2nd gen Bandit Trans Am. Corvette, 63 Vet with a split window. Yeah, cool looking. Definitely a cool looking car. Me, I know y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about, but the Corvette from a movie, an old school movie, it starred Mark Hamill from Star Wars. It was called Corvette Summer. 68 split bumper Camaro. I hear you wishing I was fishing 73. Yeah. I would love a 67 or 68 Camaro. Yeah. You seen it, Steve? Corvette. Yeah, where he's trying to recover that stolen Corvette. Love that movie. But yeah, I love the Super Sport Camaros. And I loved all cars with the hideaway headlights. I had a 1970 Ford LTD or Ford Galaxy, I believe it was, and it had like this. Had dual hideaway headlights on it. Loved it. Can y'all donate money to my Spitfire fund? Man, I wish I could donate money to my RC fund. Right now, I'm lucky if I can donate money to eat. Right now. Split bumper Camaro, like the best muscle car. Yeah. But I got to give it, man. I don't know. There's something about that Ford Mustang. It's that sound they put on that thing. I'm not saying it's the best on the track. I'm not saying it's the best on the road. But the sound. When I would hear one of those Mustangs go by and they just hit on that thing, that sound coming out that exhaust, that Mustang's got that awesome sound to it. But now, when it comes to on track, drag racing, I believe the Camaro is going to bust him more than not because that Camaro don't get loose like that Mustang wants to. Hideaway lights are a classic. Yep. I hope I say this right. American Militia. Yeah, hideaway lights are classical. Yeah. There was just something about them, man. And I loved it. So, because if you lived anywhere, you didn't have to worry about kids wanting to throw rocks at your headlights. You get kids out at night, they got nothing better to do. They just throwing rocks at people's cars and stuff. You didn't have to worry about it. You had hideaway headlights. They just come down, covered your lights, and protected them. I used to go out there, before I even got my license, I would just go out there and sit in this car, turn the radio on, crank it up just to listen to it run, and then shut it off and come back in the house with a smile from ear to ear. Yeah, true. The oldest car I ever had was a 1951 Chevy Biscayne, 3 on the tree, mint green. That was the old one I ever owned. Had a problem with the guy getting me the title, so he ended up having to give me my money back. I ended up having to let him have it back. I couldn't get it legal on the road, so I almost cried, seriously. I was like, I got to give this back. I can't put this on the road and drive it legally. That was the worst feeling. But yeah, I've had a 65 Impala, a 66. So I've definitely had some that I loved. Except the old Corvettes that opened up by vacuum. They always had problems. Yeah. Yeah. Some cars that the vacuum part just did not want to work. Or one would open and one would stay closed. You'd see them coming down the road, look like they had a headlight out. And you'd see people going out there and making them go up and rigging them so they wouldn't go back down because the vacuum didn't work right. You'd have one-eyed cars. Yep, I know what you're talking about there, Steve. I saw that a lot on some of the products out there. You get one headlight that would show and one that wouldn't. But does anybody remember that Opel? The Opel Manta? You had one Opel that looked kind of like a baby Corvette. Had the hideaway lights on the front that flipped up. About the size of a Mazda Miata. And then you had the other Opel that was like more like the Opel Manta. I think it was a 74 or 76. Had come to the point like the old BMW had. And it had 4 round headlights. And then at the back, it had 4 round taillights. Yeah. Everybody called it the minivan. I know, like I said, kind of about the size of a Mazda Miata. But yeah, mine had the 4 round headlights and the 4 round taillights. More like a mini Beamer. The one I had, it was a 70, I think it was a 74 or 76. Navy blue. 4-speed in the floor. It was the car I learned to drive a stick in. Traded with a guy. He drove it to my house for me. And I sat in the parking lot of the apartment complex I lived at and learned how to use the clutch by backing up from the curb and then pulling up and trying not to hit the curb when I eased forward. Trying not to jump the curb or stall it. That's how I learned how to drive a straight drive in that car. I think I may change the name to this to just Tuesday Talk and just leave the RC off. And that way it can be about anything. And nobody won't expect it to be RC exactly. Because we done talked about real cars tonight. We done talked about fishing. And we talked a little bit about RC back in the beginning. But yeah, Steve, you've probably heard of, I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but I'll ask you. RCcrawler.com forum. It's called RCcrawler.com. It's a forum group that you can join. I joined that one because I'm having problems locating areas where I can go trail and crawl up here and actually find some, area kind of like what you got, where you get a few rocks here and there mixed in with the sticks and the roots and maybe some streams. Congrats, Steve. Keep it up, my friend. But yeah, have you ever heard of your own RCcrawler.com? Yeah, I went in there under the South Carolina part and just clicked on and put the, hey, I live in so-and-so. Anybody nearby happen to know of anywhere I might can go run my RC? Like I said, I've only had one person comment so far. He's going to be building a course on a piece of land they bought beside his house. They bought an extra lot, and he's going to build over there. So I got to wait and see how if anything's going to come of that. But I'm still looking. I've got 2 or 3 places I need to get out to that are like a half hour to 45 minutes away from me, and see if it's okay. Hopefully I can get there at a time when there's still people in the office and I can say, hey, is it okay if I bring one RC up here and go out and film while I'm on this trail? Because, a lot of places don't want you to infringe on the joggers or whatever that trail's meant for. Yeah, some guys don't have many spots for crawling. Then you see other guys' spots in there. Yeah. It's like, okay, your area. Wow. And then like RC Nixter, his area, just, I would love a few creeks like I had where I came from. I had a creek. I had a few rocks here and there. Plus I had some nice wooded area to trail on. American Militia, I always like to take my trucks hiking with me. Got any national forest nearby? I'll have to check on that. I mean, I know I've got Santee State Park. That's not too far away, but when I went there, the trail I went down, I ended up running into an alligator. So that was kind of the end of that trail. Needless to say, I backed up, turned around, and went the other way. And I've got one place that I saw. It's more like a jogging park, but I want to see if they'll allow me to come on to it. It's a walking place. See if they'll allow me to come on it. But I'm going to have to check on that. Yeah, seeing a gator is not exactly what I expected. I mean, I get to this trail and I go, ruh-roh, and there's no way to go around him and continue on the trail. Right then, you just got to go, okay, turn the RC around. He hasn't ate it yet. He hasn't ate you. Time to go back the other way. And for the first 15, 20 feet, you're looking back the whole time trying to walk forward, making sure he ain't decided to come after you, which I was pretty sure with me being ahead of him, I could outrun him. That or I would have ran the RC at him and let him eat the RC. He could have had the RC. I'd rather him have it than me. But yeah, he was a big one. I hadn't seen one, to be honest, since I was a kid in school and went to the local zoo. And then to just, boom, be out there on the trail, and there he sits out on the bank. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, Steve, when I started the broadcast. I'm sitting here talking about, okay, you got ECX that gave it a try with the barrage and with the little mini barrage. Then you got Traxxas who came into it with the TRX4 and everything, and now the TRX6. And you got Red Cat jumped into it heavy with the Gen 7 and the Gen 8. And they already had the RS10 and the Everest 10. And then you got Charisma, who's done jumped into it with the Coyote, with the Lynx, and with the little Pup and the Brat, the smaller ones. And I'm sitting here going, and then you got Tamiya, that's got the CC01 plus the CR01. And I'm like, why not Arrma? I mean, they make some pretty good vehicles. I believe they could put their heads together and come up with a nice one. And it might be something that could be right up there with the Red Cat and with the Traxxas. Or at least, be something that somebody would want. I mean, you ain't got to be better than the Traxxas. You ain't got to be better than the Red Cat. Yeah, I believe they would too. Because everybody seems like they're on an Arrma kick right now. Most of the bashing channels you watch, they're grabbing up Arrmas like hotcakes. Because a lot of people just can't afford the Traxxas X Max, so they go get an Arrma. So, yeah, and Arrmas are pretty tough vehicles from what I've seen. So, yeah, if they do a trail truck, and I mean, it ain't got to be, it ain't got to be the best thing, in the world. But I think it would really hit if they would either put a licensed body on it or something on the order of a licensed body. Something that looks like something, but not calling it that, like a Jeep, but just not putting the Jeep name on it, or something that resembles a Chevy pickup or a Ford or a Dodge, but maybe not saying it on there. And put it out at a price point, around $300, around where the Red Cat Gen 8 is. Or either put an actual Ford truck or Dodge truck or Chevy truck body on it. Or say like a Jeep Comanche or a Jeep Cherokee body on it. Sell it for $329. Yeah. I've been waiting to see, ever since they've been on this kick of putting out a lot of bashing vehicles lately. I've been waiting for like the last year to see them throw out a trail truck. They haven't done it yet. Have you seen the new Charisma? The one that they're doing without the battery? Doesn't come with the battery? Huh. So you're hoping. But you see the new Charisma? The 1986 Subaru Brat that Charisma's releasing? It's a 1/10 Brat. I think it looks to be black with chrome wheels. And it's the upgraded version of the Charisma platform. It's got the chassis mounted servo, the upgraded tires that came with the kit one, and the chrome wheels. And the only thing is, it's not going to have the battery. But most people are going to put a LiPo in it so that, they don't really want the nickel metal anyway. Yeah. I wonder if one of the small interiors, like the little small 2D style interiors, could set up in there where you could put like the top half of a person. Wonder how hard it would be to put something like that in that, just to give it a little more scale look. But for the price, it's under $300, and all you got to do is get a battery for it. It's going to make a lot of people happy. I mean, I think it's going to do real well when it comes out. Yeah. American Militia. Yeah. Always liked the look of the Brat. Yep. I loved the real one back in the day. Had the two single seats in the back of it. turn facing the tailgate. If I get another crawler, that's the one I would love to get. Yeah. Me, I'm looking at something I don't own a version of. Like I have a G-Made sawback. I have an axial race. You know, I have stuff like that. But I don't own anything by Charisma. I don't own anything by Viterra. You know, I even have the ECX Doomsday Barrage. But I don't own anything by Viterra. And I don't own anything by Charisma. So I'm kind of looking that way if I got another rig. One of those two brands, maybe. But yeah, the Brat was always unique. I love the original. Back in the day when I was driving down the road, see that Brat come down the road, had the Brat rope right back here on the sides behind the door, going up like this. And then you look back there in the bed and it had the two seats facing towards the tailgate. Used to love seeing one of them run around. And we had one run around where I grew up at. Had the white, like wagon wheels, like most people have on the Jeeps. The white aluminum wagon wheels. That's what this one had on it. And it was, I think, I want to say black, trimmed in white. And then it had the Brat rode in like a gold or tan color. Yeah, they did look nice on the road. That was the first thing made me want a Subaru, was seeing a Brat. I never got the Brat, but it made me want a Subaru. And now I'm on my second Subaru. Yeah, I would love to see the Subaru Brat up in a mountain. I tell people all the time, like I tell Nick, I would love to be where he lives with some of my RCs. I would love to just be able to see if they could tackle that kind of mixture of terrain compared to what I normally run them on. But yeah, the Brat would look good up there. Do you have because you got a bunch of RCs, Steve. Do you have anything Viterra wise that you run? I mean, I know you got your CC01. I know you got your, Red Cat. And I know you've got your Traxxas. But do you have anything Viterra wise? You got the twin hammers? Well, you know that Polaris Razor clone that you made the comment on? That's basically, underneath the top part of it, that's basically what that is. It's a copy of that. It's got the 2-speed transmission, locked rear diff, open front diff. I mean, I know right now if I went in there and locked that front diff, it would really do some climbing. Because I put it on them rocks, not on video, but when I got up to the top, I went and crawled across. Yeah, some places you can get away with copying like nobody's business. Other places, it don't work. You get sued. Like back when Red Cat first come out with the first version of the Terremoto. Something they did, everybody said copied Traxxas, was identical to Traxxas. So Traxxas sued them. They pulled it back. They only released like 100, 150 of them. And then they come out with the Terremoto version 2, Terremoto 10 version 2. And they changed up what Traxxas was suing them for. But the body still looked, the SUV body still looked similar to the Summit, but they gave it more of a, I want to say Predator or Alien. A slim, they pulled back the back like the alien's head, made it look more like an alien, No, put 500K diff fluid in the front. It works great. You can still go fast with it. Cool. Yeah, because I don't know. A lot of people said bad things happened when they locked them. They said it really made the steering more wonky, made it where they didn't get near as good a steering on it, and it just slowed it down more. And, I like to be able to just run it through the woods and hop over some, branches and stuff with it too. But yeah, the only thing with that not having thick diff fluid in it, when you hit a big rock, them two front wheels they just sit there, and you got the back wheel just bouncing and spinning because they don't want to go up over it. So you kind of got to back up and get a run at the rock. Cool. I'll have to look into that. I'll probably have to go online. JP Slayer Art Racing. Okay, JP Slayer Racing. Welcome, my friend. He says, hello, Shin RC and host. See mine running, that's what I did. Okay. I'll have to go back and look through your playlist and check yours out. I hadn't seen it in a while. Must have been a while since you ran it. Or either I just missed that video. But, so you've never had any, Steve, you've never had anything like an Ascender style chassis? Oh, you went brushless in it. Cool. Yeah, I'm not planning on not having one of those. Yeah, I'm not planning on going brushless in that little Polaris Razor clone. I may do, like you said, put the 500K diff fluid in it. But I don't really plan on going brushless because I don't really run it enough to warrant a brushless system to me, because I've got so much in the trail type rigs and everything. But I thought about selling off a couple of the older ones that I had, that I've had a lot of fun with, and I've already had for 3 or 4 years. Because like I said, a Vatera 500K and it'll be good. All you need. Cool. I was looking at the one I was looking at was the Vatera Ford F100, the bind and drive. Reason I was looking at that for under 300, all you got to do is have a LiPo and you got to have a radio for it. Well, I have the ECX Torment 4-wheel drive, and the radio that goes to it will bind with the Vatera Ford F100. I think it's 68 Ford F100. I like to look at that pickup because I had a 1970 Ford F100. But you can also get the Suburban they came out with, the green one with the white top. You can get it for under 300, and it comes with a radio. But they changed it up and went with all plastic links. And the Ford doesn't have that. The F100 doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, the portal axles, they seem to make a whale of a difference. But that Charisma is right there in the price. If you think about it, the Vatera pickup, the Ford, the Suburban, and the Subaru Brat. All 3 of those are under 3. And basically ready to run if you put a battery in them, basically. Yeah, the Gen 8. I would rather have the Brat. Yeah, it does look good. I wonder if they're going to release it in a kit version like they did with the Coyote. That way people can paint up the body whatever the color they want. I do like that they gave it a light tint so you can see through the windshield. You can see inside of it. So if you want to put an interior. That's the only thing people qualmed about with the Red Cat and the Traxxas. They don't like the black stickers over the windows. You got to love clear windows. Yeah, the kit would be good, especially if it's, at the right price point. I thought about trying to get the Red Cat 8-pack, the Gen 8-pack. and then just put whatever body I wanted on it, that would fit it, and build it up, put my own motor, put my own ESC and radio system in it. I'd want at least a 3 to 4 channel receiver in it, so that way I could have a winch. And then I was thinking the waterproof 1080 style ESC that Hobby King runs. Yeah, I'm not too scale crazy like with adding stuff on rigs. I just beat them up on the trails. True. My main thing is on the next one, I want more of what the essentials you would see. Like most pickup trucks going to have some kind of jerry can on the back of it. They're going to have the big jack. They're going to have a spare tire. Maybe a toolbox with some tools. That would be my main stuff. And then maybe a winch up front. Or at least a tow rope. Because I got a 95 Dodge Ram 1500. And I've got I think it's a 6-foot tow rope behind the front seat. I keep in the truck. Just in case I was out somewhere in 4-wheel drive, got a little hung up, and there was somebody else out there who could pull me out. Yeah. I don't know, but with the tires it's got on it, they look like it might look a little too tall. It might need a little bit smaller tire or something, to bring it down, look more like, if you want it to look more scale. But that's to each his own, I was thinking about some white wagon wheel style wheels and a different set of tires. Run it with those, of course, see how it does. And then maybe go with some aluminum wagon wheels, style rims, and a nice set of tires. Make it a little more scale, maybe. But yeah, I'm really interested in it. Because, you can find a battery. Guys will probably make them into street brats. Yeah. Most definitely. War Eddie. Hello, man. Hope you're doing all right tonight. On here, we've just been talking about a little bit of everything tonight. Say, vote Trump, huh? I think on here right now, we're more worried about whether we're going fishing, whether we're wanting a muscle car, or whether we're going to play with RC. But, I said it was basically an open floor, so if anybody wants to vote Trump, that's what they're welcome to do. Actually, don't vote for him. JP Slayer Racing, my 3 favorite hobbies. Fishing, RCing, and cars, huh? Well, man, I'm going to go, man. Nice chatting with you. Nice chatting with you, Steve. Like I said, you're welcome to come on back again on Tuesdays if you got time. I plan on doing this on Tuesdays. What was cooking today? Oh, we talked a little bit about RCs in the beginning, what each guy's got and what we might be working on. We talked a little bit about fishing, what kind of boats different people's using. Then we talked about different old cars that we like, whether it be muscle or just little sporty cars. Oh, man, you had salmon. Oh, I've had salmon one time. A buddy of mine got lucky and went salmon fishing with some friends of his and brought me back a plate. Later, guys. Happy RCing and fishing. All right, Steve. Shin RC's leaving us. He says, happy RCing and fishing, everybody. Oh, yeah. I think most guys love some fishing, love some cars, and a lot of guys love the hunting, and a lot of guys love the RCs. Now, years ago when I was in between RCing, because I was in it, and then got out of it because when I grew up, gaming, oh man, I got a PS3 and a PS4. So yeah, I do like some gaming. I've been playing, and I'm behind on it, I'll admit. Right now I've been playing some it's Drake. And I've been playing oh, you have Death Stranding? I seen the preview to that. That thing looks awesome. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that, JP Slayer Racing. Hold on a second. I'll grab the game I've been playing on my PlayStation 4. I've been playing this on my PlayStation 4. It's called Prey. This is a fun game to me. There's a little look at it. But I've been playing that on the PlayStation 4. And I'll show you what I've been playing on the PlayStation 3. Like I said, I'm a little behind on some of the games. My PlayStation 3 had messed up on me and didn't get a new one until I moved. I love this game. Uncharted, Drake's Fortune. I love the Uncharted. And I also was playing, I've been playing on one of the Dead Island games with the zombies. I haven't upgraded from the Xbox 360. Hey, I had a PlayStation 2 for about 7 years. When I got my first PlayStation 3, I gave it to my son, that PlayStation 2. And then my PlayStation 3 burned up. Took it to a shop to have it fixed, and the guy couldn't even figure it out. So I just left it there. We moved to a new town, and then I picked up another one, and I just started playing games on it again. And then my girl, for Christmas, she bought me the PlayStation 4 last Christmas. And I've been playing on it off and on. She bought me one that came with the Spider-Man game. You need to try Death Stranding. Thanks for the info on that. I may try that. And have you tried Friday the 13th? And have you tried Dead by Daylight? I've been hearing a lot of good things about those two, and I really want to try those. So, yeah, you've heard of them? I think one of those is going to be either Friday the 13th or either Dead by Daylight. I think one of those two is going to be my next game I acquire. But I am looking at that Death Stranding. I am looking at that one. But yeah, man, I enjoy gaming. I started out on a computer. Diablo, the original Diablo, was probably one of the first video games I ever played. Oh yeah, it can get expensive. Well, it's like these RCs we talk about. They can too. I mean, any hobby can get expensive. The more you get into it, the more you buy. I mean, fishing. You look at some of the prices of some of the rod and reels. And you figure each bass plug, if you're paying $5, $6 for a bass plug. No, I haven't seen Joker yet. I've heard mixed reviews on it. I've heard people say it was just brilliant, and I've heard other people say, nah. So it's good? Okay, appreciate that. But yeah, them hobbies can get expensive. That's just like hunting. Because you start hunting, you're like, well, okay, I want this rifle. Okay, well, now I want a shotgun. Well, okay, now I want a 22 to shoot the smaller critters. Next thing you know, you got 7 or 8 different guns, and maybe you're only taking one when you go hunting. Well, this one's lighter than the rest of them, so I'll just take this one. Then you end up having 7 or 8, and you only use one. So, yeah, any other hobbies can get expensive. I'm sure if you ask the guy guys who collect trains, they're going to tell you that can be an expensive hobby, the train sets. But yeah, I love a good movie. But yeah, my first, like I said, first video games were computers. I did Diablo 1 on the computer. And then I did Doom, the original Doom, on the computer. I generally watch it on I'll go over to Netflix and watch some TV shows that they have on there. Or I'll go over to another site or something like Voodoo or somewhere like that and check out some old episodes of TV shows. But we don't even have cable. We got the internet and phone because we don't watch TV that much. When I turn the TV on, it's for gaming. That's generally the only time the TV comes on in the living room, is to do some gaming. Cable is a waste. Yeah, I mean, you end up getting 50 channels and 25 of them are the same. Yeah. We got the telephone, so that way if I'm off at work and I need to call home, let them know something's going on. That's important. And then we got the internet. And my girlfriend can watch what she wants to watch on it. I can watch what I want. And my son can watch what he wants. True. I mean, because you can keep up with anything. You can keep up with news. You can keep up with current movies. You know, pretty much anything you want to check out, you can find on the internet. Games. Places to buy the games cheaper. Yeah, you can do pretty much anything with the internet now. Yeah, I see these things where people post on Facebook. Could you live in this house for 6 months without football for 250,000 or some stuff like that? And I go, yeah. If you told me if I lived in that house for 6 months, I'd get this amount of money, all I couldn't do was watch football. Yeah, I think I could survive that for that amount of money. But, I mean, especially where it was at, in the woods with a creek right next to it. And because you can go down there and fish in the creek. And with my RC stuff that I run, I can find something to do. Now, if you told me I couldn't have internet for 6 months, that would be a little more on the difficult line. You know. Yeah. I told somebody I would love to live in a log cabin, you know, somewhere. As long as I had, you know, power and could have, you know, some kind of internet, at least where I could connect Wi-Fi to. Yeah. And it's not like it's going to do you any good when you're in the grave. You know. I mean, of course, you help your family where they don't have to worry. Other than that, but then you end up having half of them bickering over, well, why did you get this and I didn't get that? I wanted that. Why did he give it to you? You know, so, yeah. People can be greedy when stuff like that comes. Me, I grew up without it. So, you know, I ain't got to have a lot. Give me a few fishing rods, a couple of my RCs, internet that I can watch, and a few games that I can play. And if you can give me a couple of good state parks that I can go to. Yep. Yeah, we moved here. We've been here almost a year now. When we moved here, I up and bought me a kayak. Never had been on one. But I figured, hey, I can try it out and see what I think about it. Do some fishing off of it. And when I don't feel like loading it up, I'll just fish from the bank like I've always done my whole life. So, yeah. You got some people think they got to have 25 pairs of pants, 25 shirts, 25 this, 25 shoes, pairs of shoes. And you have a pair of shoes sitting in the closet you ain't worn in 2 years. Me, I don't go for all that. But, to each his. I don't knock people that want it all. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't knock people if that's what they want to have. If that's what they want to spend their money on, hey, that's their business. But me, I don't need all that. I mean, me, I got a pair of work shoes and got a pair of shoes I wear when I'm not at work. That's good enough for me. I got shoes on my feet. That's all that matters. Shoes on my feet, clothes on my back. I don't need a whole lot. Now, I will tell you, if I ever hit the lottery, which I don't even play right now, if I ever hit it, I would probably buy me an antique classic of some type because I wanted another classic car. I've had a couple over, back in the day, and I would love to have another classic car. But, I wouldn't go out and try to buy me a Ferrari just so I could say, hey, I got a Ferrari. No, I would want something that I would, actually be willing to drive some, which is a cool old Mustang, cool old Camaro, an old pickup truck. Yeah. Well, I didn't even realize how long we'd been on here or how long I'd been on here. I was just having fun. I'm going to get ready and end this because I got on here and never did even eat nothing for supper. I was sitting here drinking my cold coffee that I drink. I've got a cold coffee blend that I drink, and I was sitting here drinking it, talking to you guys, enjoying the fact, that we were just talking about stuff. All right, War Ready. You have a good night, man. Peace. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody that joined in tonight or anybody who happens to see this. I plan on doing this. If all goes well, I plan on doing this every Tuesday. It's going to be, a budget guy RC. But it's going to be, a talk, RC talk, or anything talk. It's just going to be a Tuesday talk. Basically what it's going to be, a Tuesday talk. It'll be an open floor. You can be RC. It can be about fishing, hunting, antique cars, cool cars, sports cars, whatever you want to talk about and everything, but I plan on doing it every Tuesday. This is Marshall, a.k.a. Budget Guy RC. We're going to call it a night. Peace. Everybody have a great day. And have fun RCing. Have fun in all your hobbies. We out.